If we have a net, I'm Jennifer Elliott and welcome to Vinyasa. And today we're going to be working on hip openers and especially getting to some arm balances. So I'm going to use just a couple of blocks today and then maybe a strap. So get started on your back. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my blocks, putting them flat, and then I'm going to actually do butterfly with my feet on the blocks. Now, if this is not for you, this isn't comfortable for you, then any version of a butterfly is fine. Let's turn the palms open for a few moments just to get settled. I'm just going to make sure everything else is working out here. Okay. So hips are all about change, movement, adaptability. So I think that's quite our theme for today and for the year. We just learn to adapt. We learn to change. And we just sort of observe what is, not what we want it to be. And so as you're lying here in this pose, however you've chosen to do your reclined butterfly, notice how you feel. So the hips are really related to how we feel emotionally, energetically. And so you might have a physical feeling in the knees or the back, but how do you energetically, emotionally feel here? Let's take a few moments connecting to your breath and observing. And as you keep your legs as they are, take an inhale, reach the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms open, reach behind you. I always encourage a yawn. Bring the arms back overhead, change the interlace, reach back behind you again. Then take the arms, wrap them around the knees as you pull the knees into the chest. Curl the forehead up and then lower the head down. So you're going to take your knees, split them out to the sides and find happy baby. So reach for the edges of the feet. And if you don't have the feet right away, that's fine. Wherever you've got is appropriate. You can grab ankles or backs and knees. But let's rock a little side to side a moment. Lightly press your feet into your hands, just enough to feel your sacrum, your lower back ground. And we're going to hold onto this right leg just as it is and put your left foot on the ground. And if you're like me, that block is there, so I'm just going to slide it out of my way as I straighten my left leg. So we're in a half happy baby. So happy baby just on this right side. And you can maybe nudge that right thigh a little wider, help that knee come down a little bit. But try to keep your shin perpendicular. Oftentimes I see people sort of starting to straighten out that knee. Keep the knee bent and just work that 90 degrees. And then return, find your way to happy baby on both sides. Put your right foot on the ground. So again, maybe move that block or prop out of your way. The right knee can be bent or straight. Nudge the left thigh a little wider and gently draw that knee down. So we're not trying to necessarily get the knee to the floor. We're just trying to get that thigh bone a little bit wider. And then return to happy baby on both sides. Guide the knees together and then cross your right knee on top of your left and then maybe double cross foot under calf. Hands under your head, lift your shoulders, take an inhale. Exhale, curl your heart and your knees together, peel the hips without momentum. Inhale, tap the toes down. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, tap it down. And just continue this on your own. Exhale and inhale. Let's just do 5 more, super slow, connecting breath and movement. One more. Okay. Switch, so left leg on top of right, double cross foot under calf, lift up the shoulders, inhale. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, relax. Exhale, curl. Inhale, relax. And really start to link breath and movement. We have 5 more, just building a little lower abdominal heat. Try not to jerk or move too fast, just get a little bit of movement in the lower abdomen. Last one. Okay, so unwind, pull the knees into your chest. Rock a little forward and back, or however you'd like to come up to seated. And then when you come up to seated, you're gonna go ahead and bend the right knee and straighten the left leg out. So sit as tall as you can. Try to line up your right heel with your sit bone. As you lengthen your spine, reach the left arm up, open to the side, fingertips on the floor behind you, and then hug that right elbow in. So it's an open twist. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, open, turn away from the bent knee. So you're moving away from the bent knee. Inhale, tall. Exhale, resist as you revolve away from the bent knee. One more breath. Unwind. Straighten the right leg, bend your left knee. Take your right arm, reach it high, fingertips behind. Elbow inside of the knee. Inhale, sit tall. And then exhale, open away from the bent knee. Inhale, tall. Exhale, revolve. One more. Okay. Unwind, find your way to center, come to tabletop, hands and knees. And as you get into your table, just do what you'd like for the next few moments. We'll meet in down dog. So I like to move through some cat-cows, maybe a child's pose or two. And take a few breaths, and we'll arrive in downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet out in down dog. We'll just step the feet together. Come high to the toes, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway, exhale, fold. Root to rise, reach the arms to the sky, palms press, and exhale, hands to heart. So let's take an inhale, reach the arms high, palms press. Exhale, forward fold, soften the knees on the way down. Come up halfway, exhale, step to plank. And just pause here. All right, so in your plank, you can always be on your knees, take care of you. But let's just see if we can knit the corset of the navel in. So really pull the belly in, lift the hips about a ½ inch higher, pull your chest through. 3 more breaths. Tip forward on toes or knees, lower all the way down to the floor. Take an inhale, lift your heart into low cobra, and release. Again, inhale, low cobra, you can stay, or find your way into upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart. Really root into your inner hands as you lift up out of your hips. And take a few breaths here. Inhale, high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop. Top of the mat. Come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Reach the arms to the sky. Hands to your heart. Again, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. You're welcome to jump to chaturanga. Otherwise, step, plank, and lower. I'm skipping those. I broke my toes a little while ago, so we have to do some funny transitions in the meantime. But we'll meet in down dog. Press firmly into your inner hands and let that lift you up out of your inner shoulders. Press the thigh bones back. Try to peel the toes up off the mat. And inhale high to the toes, bend your knees, step or hop. Top of the mat. Come up halfway and fold. Root to rise. Reach the arms high, palms press. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step or jump back, vinyasa or meet in down dog. And then inhale, take the right leg up halfway. Exhale, step it between the hands. Look up on inhale. And exhale, turn to the left. All 10 toes face the side wall. When you turn to the left, almost like you're going to Prasarita Padottanasana, bend the left knee at the back of the mat. Walk the fingertips forward. You can stay as high as I am here, or you might feel like you want to come onto that right heel and you can walk those hands forward. So just whatever's feeling good in your body. Come through center, switch to the right leg. Again, you can stay quite high in this pose or drop down. It just depends on what's happening for you. And then turn to face the front of your mat so you're in a lunge. And let's take a wide lunge. So kind of like we did that half happy baby in the beginning, just take that lunge a little wider. Got a couple of breaths here. And your blocks are there if you need a little bit of a lift, but just taking a moment to get into that front hip. All right, and step the right foot back, plank. Choose a vinyasa or go right to down dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step it to the center of the hands. Look up on inhale. Exhale, turn right. Bend your right knee at the back of your mat again, whichever version was working for you. This time I'm going to bring hands to my heart. And then I'm going to add a little balance, shift through center, over to the left side. Then turn to face the front of your mat. Widen your lunge so both hands are on the inside of that lunge. Looks just like that half happy baby we just flipped it. All right, step to plank. Move through your vinyasa. You can even add push-ups if you'd like, but we meet in down dog. Couple breaths. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose as you shift forward. Pull the knee high to the chest. Inhale, the leg back. Exhale, knee to the outer right shoulder. Maybe tip forward like you're going to move into an arm balance. And bring it back. Inhale, exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot to the center of the hands and leave it there. We're going to drop the back heel down as if we're moving into warrior two, but we're going to stay low here. I'm going to use my block on the inside of my right leg. And just like that open twist in the beginning, I'm going to resist the limbs together and open away from that bent knee. Top arm high. Good, everyone looks nice. So sink into your lunge. Resist your limbs together. Keep rotating your torso open and away from that top leg. And this can always be warrior two if this doesn't feel like where you want to be just yet. Or some of you might start to wrap the top arm. You might work on binding if you're there. Roll the shoulder heads back. Good. Take another breath wherever you are. We want to build that heat. And then open the arms. Bring yourself back down into your wide lunge. So move your right leg a little bit to the right. Drop the back knee down. And then just hinge back and stretch the front leg, kind of like a wide Ardha Hanumanasana. Shift forward, straighten up the back leg, and consider taking the right arm underneath, wrapping it around the back side, and maybe you bind here as well. Sink into your hips. For anyone who wants the arm balance, right hand underneath, straighten up the right leg, lean forward, and pick up the back leg. You can shoot it back if you'd like, or just meet in down dog. Take a great big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it out. All right, one more. And out. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to the outer left shoulder. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. Step to the center of the hands. Again, I use my block. It's up to you. Right on the inside. It's a low side angle. Drop the back heel down. Pull the left buttock. A lot of times we get into this pose, our chest goes forward, our butt goes back. So pull the left buttock back. Lean your torso back towards your leg. Resist the limbs, and like that open twist in the beginning, take that top right arm high. Any amount of binding is fine. You can stay, wrap the top arm, or bind with the bottom. Just use your breath, slow it down a little bit here, a few more cycles of breath. And then open the arms, find your way back into your lunge. Take that lunge wide, and drop the back knee down for a moment. Hinge back, get into the hamstrings. What's nice about this whole year is nothing is permanent. So every moment I feel like I'm really getting good practice at just being flexible, just sort of going with the flow. So shift forward, pick up the back leg. So do the same for you. Maybe your pose is just staying in your lunge. Maybe you're wrapping the left arm underneath, maybe planting the back of the hand on the thigh, or are you binding around this hip? And then those who took the arm balance on the first side, hand behind the foot, pick up the leg, straighten the leg, lean forward, pick up the back leg if you're interested. You can shoot it back. Again, I'm skipping some of that for my toe. And downward facing dog. All right, take a couple of breaths here. All right, listen carefully. Gaze up. Bend your knees. Step or jump outside of the hands. So feet outside hands. Malasana. Drop your seat. Find your breath here. Now, depending on where you're at, so I'm kind of warm and I did this earlier, so this feels fine. But a lot of times my knees are asking me for a little bit more height, a bit of a prop. So you just explore for you. If this isn't for you, you can take a butterfly pose if you'd like. So sit up really tall. Find length in the spine. Bring your left arm forward, fingertips down. Bring the right arm open. Same work we've been doing. Now you can stay or drape the arm around the back. Maybe you bind around the shin. Lean back, open the heart. Same thing we did with that open twist in the beginning, opening away from that left knee. And then unwind, do the other side. Right arm in front, left arm high. You can stay or wrap one arm or both arms around the shin. Now I have super long arms, so this works for me, but I have really short legs, so sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. All right, unwind. Take a big forward fold. Feet are about as wide as your mat. Grab onto your elbows and just hang. Switch the clasp of the elbows. And as you release the arms, heel toe the feet together. Now you can do this from where you are. So once the feet are together, just bend the knees, drop down to a squat. I'm going to demo this with a block in case Gomukhasana is new for you, but you can do it from where you are. So I'm going to sit on my perch of the block. Again, that's completely optional. Make sure my toes are good. And then from here, I'm squeezing my arms into the knees. I'm going to lift my seat just to help me get the knees in the armpits. The palms are flat. I'm going to firm those arms in, and as I lean forward, all I'm going to do is shift the weight forward so shins rest against triceps. Look forward. You can stay here, or if you're comfortable, lift your feet. Bakasana. So go for it if you'd like. If you're over the arm balance, just make your way to down dog. If you want to shoot it back, go for it. Again, I'm going to skip that for my foot today. Very nice. Good job. Pretend I jumped back. And then one more time, once you're back, gaze up. Bend your knees, step or hop, feet outside of the hands. Okay, and then drop your seat again. Okay, great. So let's sit all the way down. So sit on your seat for just a moment. Grab your two blocks again. Put your feet on the blocks like you did in the beginning. All right. So from here, so you're crossing. I'm going to move here in a moment, so I'm just going to stay sideways. Your feet are on the blocks in this wide butterfly. I'm going to cross my foot on top of the other, and I'm going to try to bind those feet. Then I'm going to try to go under the knees and maybe hold on to the block. So this is kind of just an awkward pose. So while I'm demoing, you can just sort of hang out in this funny wide butterfly thing, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to use this with blocks in case that's something you'd like. In a moment, you'll come to that Malasana type pose. Lift the hips, take the hands underneath like we've been doing all those poses. Get the hands, heel of the hand or whole hand on the block, elbows out, and then just have a seat, kind of similar to how we were moving our hips in Gomukhasana. Looking forward, lifting the feet, and then maybe crossing like you are right now. That seems like it doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so if you're interested, that's where we're going. So those of you that are on your seat, let's go ahead and bring our feet off of our blocks. Find your way to Malasana. You can do blocks behind, or you can do this without if you're comfortable. Bhuja Padasana, arm pressure pose, Bhuja Padasana. Lift your hips in your Malasana. Slide your hands underneath. Hands on blocks or floor, but elbows out. Just have a seat. Feel that you're just supporting yourself on the back of your arms. And then lift your heels. You're up on your toes. You can pick up one foot, then the other. Maybe both. And then if you feel like you're going to slide off, see if you can cross your feet. Now it makes more sense. Good. Maybe switch to the other foot. Whew. All right. Now you're welcome to continue this. But otherwise, when you're done, take that big wide forward fold again. And maybe stand on your hands. Padahastasana. Get into your wrists. If you're standing on your hands, scrunch up your toes, give your wrists a nice massage. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step your foot next to the right thumb tip. Anchor the back heel down, rise. Take your warrior one. So come on up, reach the arms to the sky, find your breath. Really work on pulling the right hip back, the left hip forward. We did all those external hips. Let's start to bring our legs a bit more towards neutral now. One last time, if you'd like, you can interlace hands or hook thumbs. Lift the chest, inhale. You can stay or add your humble warrior one, which is real similar to what we've been doing. Move to the inside of the lunge. We try to pull the right hip back. Release the hands. Take your right leg to the ceiling in your down dog. Let it go as high as it wants to go now. Open the hip, bend the knee, push the foot behind you. Maybe flip the dog. Flip it back over. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step it next to the left thumb tip. Back foot boosts up, rise, warrior one. Final standing pose, sink in. Interlace hands behind you or hook opposite thumb on top. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, fold. Release. Left leg lifts, down dog. Open up the hip, bend your knee. Be conscious. I think I'm going to save my bottom toe here to stay where I am, but flip the dog if you're interested. And then find your way back to downward facing dog. All right, shift forward, plank, and lower all the way down to your belly. Okay, well done, everyone. Slide your right knee up once you're on your belly like a half frog. And then when you get your leg up, reach your right arm forward. Weave the left arm underneath. Roll back into a twist. If that didn't make sense for you, it's just a twist. Don't overthink it. Just get comfortable. And then roll back onto the belly. Slide your left leg up like a half frog. Take your left arm forward, right arm underneath, and when you're ready, weave it back and find your twist on this side. And again, if that didn't make sense, just a twist. And then continue to roll onto your back, but you're probably off your mat, so shimmy over to the right so you end up on your mat. And then take your feet at inner hip width. Hands grab the edges of the mat, walk the shoulders underneath you. Peel up your hips for your bridge. You can interlace your hands underneath you. We've done that quite a bit today. Get those thighs, instead of kicking out, bring them nice and neutral. We're working from our externals now to our neutrals and internals. And if none of those words make sense to you, don't worry, I'll get us to where we need to be. Unwind. Good. Take a moment, and you can take another bridge. You can also take Urdhva Dhanurasana. I'm going to see how I feel. It may or may not be for me today. But if you're taking that bigger back bend, fingertips towards the shoulders, peel the hips up towards your bridge, and then just pop to the top of your head and reassess. Not a lot of weight here. This isn't good. Chin to chest, come down. Otherwise, press up. Find your back bend. Slowly lower. Hips are down. Whichever back bend you took, don't pull the knees in yet. Just do a little windshield wiper. Roll the wrists around. And then once you've windshield wiped the knees a few times, pull the knees into the chest. Now, a lot of you, if you reach up towards your head, you may find one of your blocks. So if you have a block, grab it. Take that block and place it between the feet. Make sure it's not a heavy block or no way you're going to drop it on yourself. If you don't have a block, just keep the feet together. This could be a blanket, something like that. Just be conscious it's not going to drop. Okay, so take your hands up. This is what I call pass the block. So my thumbs are going to hook because I always want my limbs to stay together. Inhale, hands back, feet forward. Any amount, just to where you feel in control. Exhale, bring it back. Take the block, put it in your hands, feet together. Inhale, feet forward, hands back. Exhale, return, give your feet back the block. Inhale, extend. So just continue this on your own. Passing the block back. And if you don't have a prop, it's the same work. Just keep your hands and your feet together. We'll do this about 5 more times. Last one. Whew. Okay, set that block aside. Knees to your chest. Rock up to seated. Okay, nicely done. So we're going to go back to how we started with the right knee bent, the left leg straight. But we're going to keep the leg in this time. Reach up and start to reach forward for the front leg. Pull the chest forward. Now everybody's a little bit different here. So we've done this work today. So if you want to wrap the right arm around the shin, left arm behind the back, go for it. If you'd rather let that right leg open and take this more like a Shavasana, that's fine too. So take a few moments. Which one did you choose? The main goal is that it's a forward fold. We're unwinding. Couple of breaths. Lead with your heart. Come up. Switch sides. So right leg is straight. Bend the left knee. Sit up tall. And again, if you're staying here, reach forward, chest through, and then wrap around the thigh. Heart is forward, forward fold. Or maybe that knee is down like the half butterfly for John or Shavasana. Lead with your heart, come up. We'll take our sort of last pose here. So I'm pulling my left leg underneath, wrapping the right leg on top. I'm just going to turn so it's a bit more able to see. So moving into Gomukhasana. Now, it's really up to you. You could do the arms, but for me, I usually like at this point to wind them up like eagle or just to rest them in front of me. So choose what works for you. We did a bunch of these external poses, so this nice internal pose is a great way to release. Some of you may have a wall, and you can always do this if you prefer at the wall, especially if you have any low back concerns. Otherwise, we will be here for a few more breaths. So it's funny, whenever I do my hip practice, it's always related to that second chakra, which is all about change, movement, adaptability. Something always happens. Every class I'm teaching and I get into the hip openers where I really have to think on my feet. I have to change my routine. I have to sort of notice extra wrestling in the room. And so it's always just a great reminder that, yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to be able to sort of be quick on our feet and think and see what we need to do for that moment. So let's go ahead and switch to the second side. If that's not for you, then do something else that is. I just want to stretch that outer thigh. They say that dreaming is a way that you practice things that might come up in life. You have the opportunity to sort of play out all scenarios before it happens. And I like to think the same thing happens on our yoga mat. We're sort of faced with all these situations where we have to relax to get out of it. We have to really be focused, present. We really start to have those different issues that happen on our mat, sort of physically, emotionally, mentally. And when we can tackle them here, I find it so much easier to tackle them off the mat. So hopefully it's just a little helpful for you today. Change it up a bit. Couple more breaths. Now, as you unwind, take a finishing pose for you. So I'm going to do a seated forward fold. You might do legs up the wall, or even a shoulder stand, since we haven't done an inversion today. If you're doing a shoulder stand, just make sure you're really in your shoulders, not on your neck. So you choose seated forward fold, legs up the wall, shoulder stand with plow. Anything that feels like a really good finishing pose for you. If you have a headstand practice, you're welcome to headstand. If you're in something like an inversion, you want more time, take it. Otherwise, start to make your way towards Shavasana. You might take any extra little twists or anything you want. I'm going to use a timer on my phone so that we know that we're here. We can be relaxed in our pose. This timer will just be a 3-minute Shavasana, so not long. Okay. All right. So do what you need to get comfortable in Shavasana. I had these 2 blocks available. I'm going to grab a blanket and put that over the blocks. Make a makeshift bolster for underneath my knees. The arms drape out to the sides. The palms are open. And through our practice, we did this dynamic movement, getting the blood pumping, the muscles warm, the mind focused. And then we rest and we digest what we've done. Start to fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead, maybe yawn. You can bend your knees. Make your way onto your side. And eyes closed or partially closed as you press yourself upright to seated. Draw your hands to your heart in gratitude for all the work your body has done. Lift the chest. Bow your head. Namaste.